This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Hello and good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here, Coffee, Country, and Cody. We are hanging out with all of you in our living room, but we're moving. So if you guys are free this weekend and you want to swing by with some boxes, we could use some help. It's Kelly Sutton, Charlie Mattos, Annie Nye in the back, Jeff Roberts in Master Control. Yeah, we only have a few more days in our home here in the Magnolia Lobby at the Gaylord Opryland Resort and Convention Center. And then we are moving into our brand new, I'm so excited about it because it still has a new studio smell, new studio, which is the A-Cuff House, very close to the Opry. So it's on the Opry Plaza.
All right, and not to be picky, but we'd like really nice U-Haul boxes. We don't, no liquor store boxes, please.
Hey, we're not,
because you just can't fit much in those.
I was going to say, we still, if you can't see it because I'm blocking it. If you're joining us now streaming, thank you for watching here. I don't know if I can move.
Bill Shrine?
There's just a lot of stuff behind
I think if you got up,
me.
you could, there's Bill Shrine. Yeah. That doesn't do it justice.
It's our dirty little secret.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of fun things that we have, and we just really don't have a home for them yet.
Maybe we have Annie go take a detailed tour of Bill's little shrine over there.
We can pull stuff out and give it away while he's gone. He'll come in and be like, "Where did my?"
No, he will never know. That's
you
the
don't
thing.
think so?
No. It's like Jenga. It's like, can you remove this without the whole thing falling down?
He is me, because that's exactly, I have those piles too. We were talking about this off the air about how sometimes you just don't know where to put something and you have it and you're like, I don't know where this goes. So for now, it will go here in the in-between. I have a whole lot of in-betweens. So, and I'm the first one to admit, then those piles kind of just start to really pile up and then you don't know what to do with any of them.
Right.
And that's when the trash bags come in. Throw it all away.
Goodwill, right?
Goodwill.
Yeah.
But it has to hit you. You have to be in that cleaning mood.
Right.
And then when you're in it, like, stay out of the way for the next 24 hours.
Yes. And I found out, much like Chandler Bing did with Monica, that whenever my wife cleans, there's the because I have no reason to ever go in this little hall closet because it's just her winter jackets and stuff. And I opened it one day and I'm like, you are Monica. Look at this.
Yes.
It
Don't
was
open the closet.
Crazy.
Yeah, I totally feel that. Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us. And this therapy hour is brought to you by BetterHelp.
Free. Hey, listen, no copay. That's the beauty of this.
Completely free. Hang with us because we have a great show lined up. We're going to be talking about entertainment headlines. The really cool thing that we've been talking about, of course, is Jelly Roll getting to tour north of the border. So for Canadian friends, you are getting some Jelly Roll coming your way very soon. Plus, Luke and Caroline Bryan, this was a really great story that happened yesterday in Williamson County. They have been the big sponsors of Williamson Health, which is one of the hospitals down there, and a new wing was dedicated. So we've got that coming up in entertainment headlines. Plus, George Ducas is coming in with us. He has a new album going to be playing coming up at Chiefs very soon. Yeah. So we'll talk to him in just a little bit. We're already talking. Like, we could just join this mid-sentence because George Ducas walked in and we have not stopped since the moment he came through the door.
What was the old thing?
We're going to do some dance lessons.
We've got
when the football
That's right.
When the football game went long and then you finally we now join our previously scheduled program already in progress.
Already in progress.
You're
That's
telling that
it.
famous story about the Jets game.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah. The Heidi Bowl.
The Heidi Bowl. That's I was trying to think of the name of it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Kelly,
it's so
great
good
to see you, hon.
I'm so glad you came in.
I am so glad I came in.
And I'm so excited
it's
that
always
you've
good
got
to see
a new
you.
album.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Coming out Friday.
Okay, so you are like in the thick of it, friend. You are doing all the PR.
It's a super busy week. We got a big show at
Chiefs.
Our buddy Eric Church's place, Chiefs, and this Friday night, and just doing a lot of this all week.
That's great.
Really excited. It's like, we got a new single out to country radio, the really country radio. Not the big pop stations, but the big country stations.
How long have you been in town? I mean, I was trying to think back.
Let's just don't.
Okay, but we've known each other for a while. You've been here. You've been doing it. How many albums does this make?
So this will be my fifth or sixth.
Okay.
God, I really should know that.
That's okay.
I think it's fifth.
Fifth, okay.
Because I spent about like 8 years as more as a songwriter and had 2 kids at home, and
right.
I just didn't. I did play. I did tour, but it was only like when the occasional show would fall in my lap, like it was a festival here in the States, or more often it was like a weird thing, like a soccer stadium in Brazil, like as part of a bill out, like all the way down there, or something crazy like the Red Cross Ball in Switzerland, where Shania Twain just happens to be like the maiden of honor, and she's on the front row, and we wind up chatting about Nashville after the show. It's crazy stuff, like in Switzerland.
How fun!
But for the most part, I was writing songs. So this is just the 5th album for me as an artist.
And early on, you and Radley Foster really clicked as writing buddies. I mean, you guys wrote some amazing songs.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's that we were both from Texas or what, but like he was my, he was kind of like, I never really had an uncle or he was like my long lost uncle figure, because he'd already been in the business 10 years or 10 or 12 years or something. So he was working on his first solo record, coming off of like a duo called Foster and Lloyd, going way, way back before I was even here in Nashville. And he kind of took me under his wing songwriting wise. So we wound up writing some songs wrote a top 10 for him called Just Call Me Lonesome, for those who are listening to AM country radio and like have been listening to country radio for a while. And then we wrote a bunch of other songs, big hit for Sarah Evans, and wrote a song for the Dixie Chicks that was on their Wide Open Spaces record. So yeah, he really kind of, took me in and showed me the ropes. So he helped fast track a lot of things. Publishing got me, signed to a publishing deal, and that probably helped fast track a record deal too.
So at what point were you in Texas thinking, music is where it's at, this is what I want to do? Did you fall in love with it early, or was it something that kind of came along later?
It was kind of like so for a couple of years there, when I was like 9 or 10, Willie Nelson was playing. This was like maybe, I don't know, 80 or something. Something like that. He would come and play the New Year's Eve show in Houston, Texas, where I grew up. He'd come play what was then called the Summit, and now it's a big church, a big mega church. Can't remember the name of it. Joel Osteen.
Got it. Yeah. World Outreach or something.
Yeah, something like that. Same building, looks the same as far as I can tell from the outside. But Willie would play there on New Year's Eve a couple of years in a row when I was just picking up a guitar, and I would walk out of that building like wanting to be Willie Nelson, like long way to go, still trying to get there. But I just how that when you have that young childish imagination and you're like, when I turn this corner, I'm gonna be a football player, or I'm gonna be Willie Nelson, that guy that was just on stage, or for you it might have been, I'm gonna be
Katie Couric,
Princess so-and-so, or what?
Diane Sawyer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Totally can see it.
Jane Pauley. Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. So you really remember that, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It made an impression on you.
I think I was 16. We went to a television station in Louisville, Kentucky. There was a person there.
That would do it.
Angie Humphrey Davidson. She was the host of PM Magazine.
Totally.
I sat in her chair and I took a picture.
Did you grow up in Kentucky?
This is it. I grew up in southern Indiana.
Okay.
But TV
but
was...
going to Louisville, that was a pretty big market, and you were like, wow,
this is it.
You were like, made an impression. It was indelible at that point for you.
Well, and that's the thing, like, you have that imprinted on you at 10. So do you immediately go home and pick up a guitar, or what happened?
I was already
next?
picking one up.
Okay.
It was like a Christmas present, and I'd already laid it down. This is too hard. This hurts
my fingers hurt.
All that, that hurts my fingers. I can't do this, and then pick it back up, and I kind of wound up just teaching myself, but yeah, so that's when it all started. To answer your question, Charlie.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So
you probably asked me that one of these other visits, but I'm glad we could talk about it again.
Well, and I love the fact that you have those connections. I mean, Texas roots run deep. You've got it all over this beautiful Manuel jacket with the yellow roses. By the way,
yeah. That's just because like when you're up here in Tennessee, you sort of miss home sometimes, And the name of the record's called "Long Way From Home," and we recorded out in California, which was a long way from home. Whether my home is Texas or whether my home is here in Nashville, or like any way you look at it, I was a long way from home. But it was an honor. I made the record with Pete Anderson, who has never really recorded here in Nashville, but is certainly loved by many here in Nashville. He's got a long history. He's a Wikipedia page on his own, just one of my favorite guitar players. And when I met him during the deepest, darkest days of the pandemic, he was like, how do you want to make this record? And I was like, well, Pete, you're one of my 2 favorite guitar players ever. and you're either 1A or 1B, and the other guy is Stevie Ray Vaughan, and he's not exactly around to make a record with, and he's not a producer, or wasn't, and but I loved his guitar playing, but I love Pete's guitar playing. Pete he's produced everybody from kind of the queen of country rock, Americana, Lucinda Williams, to all the early Dwight Yoakam records, and who I do get sort of compared to sometimes.
I was going to say, do people say that a lot?
Well, yeah, I don't know if it's the hat, but the hat's not even really the same color. But those early records that Pete made with Dwight were, again, going back to your younger years, like when I was a teenager, I heard those and I was like, man, if I ever get to make records, I want them to sound like that. Like I was hearing like, I don't know, I was a teenager and I was hearing Honky Tonk Man or Guitars Cadillacs or something, and it was like, that is country music. Like it was super cool. And so I met Pete, mutual pal, actually my road guitar player, and really just we hit it off immediately on the phone again during the deepest, darkest days of the pandemic. And this is the record that eventually came out of it once I wrote all the songs. So it was really great. I mean, Pete is awesome. You meet your heroes and sometimes they disappoint.
Mm-hmm.
Pete is not. For me, it was like I met, and my dad just passed away, and it was like, now it's like Pete has sort of filled, because he's older, and it was like he's kind of filled that spot for me. It's crazy, like
That's
how
awesome.
life does that sometimes.
Well, especially in the studio, right? Because it's such a creative place, but it's a vulnerable place.
It
and
is.
if you're not,
That's right.
if you don't feel safe and really confident in that place, you're not going to get anything. So that's the beauty
so
of that
true,
relationship.
Charlie. That's
right?
so true,
Yeah.
and you know that because like you have seen music made in this town for decades, right? Like you've been there, like you know what it takes, like the environment that it takes, and it's got to be a nurturing environment. It can't be like, all right, 3 hours, how many songs can we slam into this session? Like, you got to do it that way sometimes as a staff writer or whatever. But when you're really trying to make a little bit of 3 minutes of magic, and that's what I love about Pete too. There's no clock. I mean, you're out there working in his backyard studio, and it's like he plays it till it's right. Even his parts, like he's like, do you like this better, George? Or you like this? Like it's just such a special, man. It's super, super special friendship, and he's kind of filled that void since my dad died. So it's really great.
I love that.
And it's everything from music. It's not just all music. It's like music, family, friends, yucking it up, taco trucks, Mexican food, like out there in Southern California, and like, I mean, talking football, basketball. He's a guy's guy. Like, it's so much fun. He's just so wonderful.
We're going to play Drifter off the album. So give us the backstory about it.
So Drifter it's one of my favorite like tracks as a recording track. Like I love this whole record, and as much as I love it, to hear Pete talk about it makes you want to like run through a wall for it. Like he's that excited about it. Maybe because he got involved in a really country record for the first time in a while for him, because he's out there making little blues records and stuff mostly. And Drifter is just something he's like, man, this is like a Merle Haggard song. And I'm like, wow, thank you, first of all. But like, we made kind of try to make our own little Merle record, kind of bring Merle, back a little bit with this one.
More Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
We're hanging out with George Ducas. He is in studio this morning. New album coming out on Friday. A fun show happening at Chiefs. We were talking about Chiefs. Have you been in yet to see it?
Yeah. Oh no, I'm really excited. It's really cool because it's number one. It's the day that this new record comes out. But I have not been in the venue. It's a new venue. It's the newest venue on Broadway down in Nashville, and I've known Eric for a number of years. You've crossed paths just being in the business, and great guy, and I know he does everything he does. He takes really seriously, and that venue is an example of that. It's just got great craftsmanship. The windows, everything from it is
stunning.
It's like a little Opry.
We said
so I'm excited.
It's like a little Ryman with the stained glass windows, and they've got the pews up top where people will be watching from. It's
got
really,
a balcony.
Really
you can watch from a balcony seating, and that's where a lot of my friends are sitting on Friday night, and
the food is really good too. I've heard. I'm excited.
I haven't heard about the food, but a buddy of mine's in commercial real estate, and his friend actually built that building. So he was involved in the construction and the interior. So I'm excited to see it, and I'm excited to perform there Friday night.
Rodney Scott's Whole Hog Barbecue is the 5th floor, and he is like a chief pitmaster when it comes to barbecue.
Okay.
It's phenomenal.
Now,
So,
when you
yeah.
say barbecue, is it pork or is it beef?
Well, that's true because you're from Texas. I
Yeah,
forgot.
there's that
Okay.
distinction, right?
Whole hog, so we're going pork,
Oh,
but
there you
it's
go.
really, really good.
Yeah,
I will say.
I'm gonna try it out.
Yeah.
I like both, so
Excellent.
yeah.
So it's going to be happening there. When you put this album out, who's the first person that you bounce it off of? Who is the first person that you're like, take a listen to this. I trust your opinion.
You know, man, there's so many. I mean,
Yeah.
I want to play it for everybody. You know,
Right.
there's just so many. I mean, I trust Pete, my producer, implicitly.
Yeah.
So I was excited to play it for all my friends, like in the business, out of the business, doesn't matter. All my old buddies from like my flag post. You know, I love football. You were just talking about sports.
Mm-hmm.
I love football. Like, and that's one thing. Like, if I could trade it all, what would I be? I'd try to be a fast man in the NFL for 3 or 4 years. Like, that would be really fun for me. Like, so all my football buddies
Yeah.
are coming to the show Friday night. You know, and they're all going to be sitting in the balcony and like yucking it up. I'm sure and talking trash. Just
Of course.
because that's part of the fun.
Boo, they're giving you all kinds
So I
of
mean,
grief. Yeah.
bouncing it off those guys. Like, you know, I play them the new record, but they're all really excited the record's coming out, and
That's
you
so
know,
cool.
picking up some merch, made a bobblehead, all kinds of crazy stuff.
You have a bobblehead?
I found a way to do it. It's crazy.
Stop.
I know.
That
I'm
is
gonna
so
get you
next
one.
level. That is next level. You know you made it win.
Oh my gosh, people are cracking up. I'm
amazing.
I should have brought one. That would be fun.
First
Well,
5,000 fans will get a George Ducas bobblehead.
You know what? Let's just do that right here on WSM right now.
So good.
I will hand deliver it to them.
Buy a ticket.
Yeah,
Well, you've
call
got your
in.
guitar. We would love for you to play something. What do you want to do? You want to do something off the new album, obviously, but which one? What do you think?
I'm really not partial.
All right.
Yeah, I tell you, putting a set list together must be fun for you, though, because you got a new record, so you want to play new songs.
Yeah.
But there's so many hits that you've written for other people.
Yeah.
You go
It's
back and do
hard.
Lipstick Promises, which was a monster hit for you. So it's a
hard,
really
dude.
cool thing to put together, I would think.
It is real weird though. It's sort of like this batch or that batch.
Yeah.
Like it's weird. I mean, I try to play a few hits as a song that I've had as a songwriter to like mix that in because it's part of the story.
Yeah.
But it's hard to tell that story and tell the new music story all in 90 minutes and the old music story like Lipstick Promises or Teardrops or the earlier. It's kind of weird. It's a little, and then you want to like dedicate a couple covers to your heroes, whether it's Willie Nelson or Tom Petty or
Yeah.
you know, like you want to mix a couple of those in too, and it's
Well, what's
you
your
run out of time really.
what's your
quickly.
go-to Tom Petty? I mean, my very first concert was Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
For a long time, I love man. I mean, and that's like he's just a great, iconic American songwriter. Like Listen to Her Heart is a great fun band song. You Wreck Me is one that we're playing right now. You Wreck Me, Baby.
Yep.
You know, if you know that song. And it's kind of a rocker, so it's kind of
Down, down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, it's real fun to play as a band. You know, I don't have any songs like that, so it's fun that way too. 'Cause
Sure.
it changes it up. You know, so
That's awesome.
yeah, that's a fun tune.
All right. So what are you going to do for us this morning from your collection?
I really don't. Do you guys care? Like, what? Do you have a dog in the hunt?
I would love to hear something from the new album if you go good with it.
Maybe the first time I came in here when the first song came out that we promoted the radio, and it was called Crying Time.
Love it.
It's the second tune on here. We're going to promote a couple more too, so I'm going to be back with you, I hope, you know, soon as well. But right now it's Drifter, which we just played.
Yeah.
And, it's a fun song. It's kind of an ode to Buck Owens, which I love Buck, and I didn't grow up with Buck, but like discovered his music. I know we're
That woke everybody up this morning.
a little
Love
fun
it.
one.
That's awesome.
Good morning, y'all.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Kelly,
Thanks for seeing us.
Thank you very much for having me, y'all.
You gotta come
always
see the
fun.
new place because I told you about it. So come over and visit when we get over there. Let's talk about entertainment headlines. Welcome in, everybody. It's Coffee Country and Cody here on WSM. Lots of stuff to talk about, including ACM honors. So if you're keeping track at home, you're like, wait, Kelly, didn't we just have the ACM Awards? Weren't you just there? It was in Dallas. Yes. But they also do ACM honors. So this has been going on for a while. These are some of the specialty awards that they don't get to do during the ACM.
This is not at the home of Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys.
You tried. You gave it a good effort.
That was like my best one.
That was your best one. I will give you that. That was your best Jerry Jones.
I still failed, though, right? It's like I got a 68. I didn't pass.
No, I'll give it a D.
Okay.
I'll give it a D for today. All
Okay.
right. So ACM Honors. This is the 17th Annual Academy of Country Music Special Awards. That's going to be happening coming up in August. In fact, they said August 21st. It will be at the Ryman Auditorium. This year, Lainey Wilson, Luke Bryan, Chris Stapleton, Alan Jackson, and Trisha Yearwood will all be honored. So Luke is being honored with the ACM Lifting Lives Award for his charitable work, and we've got more on that coming up in just a few minutes. Also, congratulations, Trisha Yearwood being recognized as the ACM icon this year. Alan Jackson will be receiving the Poets Award. Oh, by the way, Carly Pierce and Jordan Davis will be hosting this year. Carly has done it, I think this is her 4th year in a row. First time to have Jordan there. So that's pretty cool. Very excited. And Tyler Hubbard has already signed on as one of the presenters. If you want to go to this, you can be there in person. Ryman Auditorium, again, August 21st. Tickets go on sale this Friday.
Was it not ACM Honors a couple of years ago when Taylor Swift surprised everybody and did the 10-minute version of All Too Well?
No,
it was the Ryman, though. Was it the Songwriters
Award? At
Award?
the Ryman, but it was the song. I think NSAI.
Okay, all right.
Maybe Nashville Songwriters Association, but Songwriters Awards.
Okay.
Yes. So yes, she was there. No,
not that
wrong
one.
night.
Wrong again. Okay.
I'm
just going to turn my mic off over here.
That's fine. Keep mine on. I have more to say. Let's talk about Kenny Chesney getting another award. Congratulations to him. Setting a new record would take her home. It is his 33rd number one. That's a long stretch of number one hits. It is on Billboard's country airplay ranking, making him the most number ones, making him the artist with the most number ones and since the chart's 1990 launch. So he was just behind Tim McGraw, but now he's surpassed Tim and also Blake Shelton. Blake is now in number 3. We want to make sure that he knows that, by the way. I'm sure he's real happy about it. Kenny's first chart topper, if you were keeping track, was 1997's She's Got It All. Most recent was March of 2022 with Kelsey Ballerini, Half of My Hometown. So congratulations to Kenny. He just released Just to Say We Did. That is the new single. Yeah. And I will say, I've had the pleasure of seeing him in the stadium setting 4 times? Yeah, 4 times. Once in Chicago, twice in Boston, and once here in Nashville. Never disappoints. Never disappoints.
You just forget how many songs you love by him. I mean, 31 number ones, you would imagine there's a bunch, but you forget some of them. And it's like, oh, yeah, I love this one too. Yeah. And he opens with my favorite song.
Number
ones. Oh, sorry, pardon me. I gypped him of 2 there.
Well, he just texted me.
Oh,
He's
okay.
Like, thanks, Charlie.
Would you tell Mattos it's 33?
Yeah.
And he opens with my favorite song, Beer in Mexico, too. So you got to love that.
It is just fun to be there. It is a fun setting. So if you get a chance to go see him again out on tour, Megan Maroney is out there with him and Uncle Cracker. Remember Uncle Cracker came in and told us he was going.
And Zach Brown.
Yep. That's right. Zach Brown Band is out there as well. All right. Post Malone has announced the country album. I mean, we think it's the country album. He hasn't said it's a country album, but we're pretty sure it's a country album. The name of the album is one that I don't like. It's called F1 Trillion. We can't figure out exactly what that means. I need Posty to come in and tell us. If he's listening, then stop by and let us know what it means. It is from the billboard that was posted. It looks like it's on the back of a car, F-1 trillion. And it's like it's actually numerically written. It's not, 1 trillion. So I'm not sure what it means. I'm thinking like F-150, F-250, F-1 trillion. I don't know. It is going to be coming out in August. So you can look forward to that, August 16th. We are unsure exactly what's going to be on it, but we have a pretty sneaking suspicion that 6 of the tracks that have already been released will be included. That's She Ain't Yours, Pour Me a Drink with Blake Shelton. I Had Some Help with Morgan Wallen. That's Lindsay Lou. She joins us in studio this morning. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
We were just talking about the Ryman Auditorium. You've played there before.
Yeah. Yep. I was there with Green Sky Bluegrass a couple years back over Halloween, and excited to be back.
Yeah, but this time you don't have to wear a wig.
Right. Yes. Which, I shaved my head a few years ago and I got kind of into wigs for a while.
Okay.
And, it's fun. But, Yeah, now I just turn my own hair into a wig-looking thing.
Well, the Ryman at all times has like a presence. There's something in that, something historical, magical in that building. But I can only imagine on Halloween night what the Ryman must feel like. And looking out there, I'm sure the audience participated as well a little bit too, right?
Yeah. It was fun.
Well, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, my pleasure.
You're going to be a part of Bluegrass Nights happening tomorrow night there with Steep Canyon Rangers. So what's been happening in the world of Lindsay Lou?
Oh, man. Well, anytime I have to be up for something in the morning, it's like last night. I'm like a pumpkin, I go to sleep at like midnight, unless it's a gig night.
Right.
And last night it was like 2 a.m. I was like, I know I got to be somewhere early, so I'm just going to make an entire summer tour ad mat while I'm laying in bed until 2 a.m.
That's it.
I'm like, I'm coming back here. But yeah, I've just been touring the record a ton, which has been really, really nice. It's, everybody, I feel like it's not unusual for an artist to be like, this is a really special record for me, but this is a really special record for me. And it came out of a period of some serious grief and learning how to work through that grief with grace and because of that, the people who come and talk to me after the show, are going through similar things, and it's just been really sweet to see how the music has moved through people's lives and be able to connect with them. So it's been nice. I've been touring all over the place, and I put together a band that was the Queen of Time band. We've done a handful of tours. We've got a couple more in the fall, and the summer's pretty much all festivals. So it's good.
There's something fun about festivals.
Yeah, you got a lot of your friends on this record too. Man, it's a who's who. If you're a bluegrass fan, you got some of the best pickers in the world on this.
I've sort of like, I really feel at home in the festival. I don't know if it's because I came from such a big family. My mom was one of 12, and I have like 100 cousins, not exaggerating. And it was always a big musical gathering. So every family reunion sort of felt like a little mini festival. So I feel very comfortable and at home in, collaborative, communal sort of situations. And so I wanted this record to feel like that, even though it was, the content was sort of working through a lot of difficult things. What do you do when you're working through difficult things? You lean on your community and you ask for help, is so important. And so I wanted it to feel like that. I wanted it to feel like, like living in Nashville. When you live in Nashville, the festival comes home with you. And so I wanted to bring the festival to the record too. And I think it came across pretty good.
Kel, this is the cool part. Every one of the special guests has been with us many times throughout the years.
Oh,
but
I love that.
But Billy Strings, Sam Bush, Sierra Farrell, Jerry Douglas, Molly Tuttle. You mentioned Green Sky. They're on the album too. Peter Rowan and Leftover Salmon.
Yeah. There might be like I think that there's something in the verbiage. I've definitely have collaborated with those people a lot, but not all of those people are on this particular record.
Okay. Yeah.
But Jerry and Billy are, and all my bandmates from the Flatbellies all make appearance on it. My friend Phoebe Hunt, who wrote the first song. But you're not the first person who's done that, so I'm gonna have to track down the Kathy Mattea on Mountain Stage a couple days ago did that too, and
Boy, there's a magical
so
place.
Fun.
Huh?
Yeah. And so perfect, such a perfect fit for her to be hosting that. That is the coolest that it all came together. Yeah. Well, you've got your beautiful Martin guitar, so we would love for you to play something. What year is that guitar, by the way?
1952.
Oh wow.
Was it handed down? Is there a story behind how you got it?
I got it at Carter Vintage, not long after I moved down. I just needed a new guitar. I had an old Dreadnought, and I really wanted a double O. And all my bandmates had been looking at guitars for me, and I just nothing ever struck me until I played this, and it just felt like it. I love the deep, woody, old sound to it, and I love playing Carter family songs. So, I don't know, it just feels like it carries that spirit.
And I think sometimes the instrument finds the right person, right?
Yeah, totally.
That's beautiful.
So that's my story with this guitar.
And what song are you going to play for us live?
I was going to play you the first song on the record. I'm feeling bad now about correcting you. I usually make a point of not doing that.
I don't care.
Slide,
Are you
kidding?
I've been married 19 years. I'm corrected on a daily basis.
I love that song. Thank you so much for getting up early and coming in here with us. We loved having you. Have fun tomorrow night at the Ryman.
Thank you.
Ryman Auditorium. It's happening tomorrow night. Bluegrass Nights with Steep Canyon Rangers. The new album, Queen of Time, is out now.
Ryman.com for tickets as well.
That's what you can do.
Yeah, and head out there early and catch some free music on the plaza with Pickin' on the Plaza.
There you go. Lindsay Lou, thanks for coming in. Is there any chicken left? Probably not with all those dogs. I love that video. Skip Ewing, good to see you.
Good to see you guys too.
So,
Happy to be here.
Road Dog, the first dog popped up, and I said, what's his name? And you said, which one? And I said, what do you mean? And then I'm watching, and it's dog after dog after dog. But those were all submissions. How did you get so many pictures?
The huge white dog is in the truck with me. That's Shotgun.
That's Shotgun.
Shotgun. He's named after the seed he likes. So, but out in Wyoming, shotguns belong in the truck anyway, no matter what.
Either way.
But my wife is she's so lovely and talented with the things that she'll do. And I said to her, what if we put it out to fans and everybody, just send us photos of your dogs and we'll put them in the video. And we got we got hundreds and hundreds of photos. And so I think there's 150 dogs in that particular one, which is fun.
Two things people love to show off: kids and dogs.
Oh,
man,
that's right.
That's right.
And horses.
And horses. Yeah, and you were just in town. You did the music for Mustangs. It was last night at the Troubadour.
Right.
So tell us your involvement. How did you get involved with this? I know, obviously, you've been a horse guy your whole life, right?
Well, not really. My grandfather was a thoroughbred rancher in California, so I was around horses, but I didn't get to ride. I learned a little bit about caring for them, and I was small, I was young. But right around 2000, I started going out to Wyoming, and Reader's Digest. It went from that to when I left Nashville. I sold everything and went on the road to study horsemanship for about 10 years. That's all I did was work with horses and different ranches, and so. But Devin O'Day, and she's a lovely spirit anyway. And she called me and she said, "I've taken over some of the work for the Mustang Heritage Foundation, which of course is a foundation that among other things helps to place Mustangs that have been taken off of BLM land and need a home." And I mean that's quick to my heart. We have wild Mustangs right there in Wyoming, and it's still they're getting rarer and rarer. And I mean I was immediate. First of all, I would have pretty much done anything Devin wanted to do, but put in that, and then I found out. I met some of the people and talked to them with the foundation, and just went, "This is class, man!" And I'm looking forward to seeing some of the work that the trainers have done on the from kind of wild until they're just wonderfully trained and they have a great relationship with humans, and those are the kind of things. There's a lot of love in that. There's a lot of applicability of the energies that relate to people too, and so I'm all about it. I said. Just get me there. Just get me there. I'll do whatever you want, And so Devin was laughing. So I ended up playing last night, and I'll actually teach a clinic on Thursday.
Yes. What is that like to switch gears and go into teaching mode for you? And how do you teach a clinic on something that can be so very specific to each individual person and horse?
Well, that's a really insightful question. One of the things, and the reason that I'm even teaching anything is, and I wish I could just call it sharing, is what it is. It's not really. I mean, it's a hands-on clinic, and do you remember I wrote a song called "Something That We Do" with Clint Black?
Yeah.
It talks about love, and love basically being not a noun. It's an action, and it's something we have to do over and over. And as I was working with horses, one of the reasons why I did what I did was getting more difficult to work as a songwriter in Nashville at the time with the changes in radio and everything. And I was learning about me. When I was working with horses, I was learning horsemanship. But every time I worked with a different horse, I learned more about me. And I found that I was saying, wow, I can do better. I can do that better. And the more skillful I became with that, that was applicable to every relationship that I had, including relationship with listeners. There's a lot to it. And so at a clinic that I'll share that and then give people a chance to practice these things. It's quite concrete.
Yeah.
It's here's how we make a connection with a horse, and here are the ways that I've learned to be sensitive and to be able to make a connection that a person can feel. And many times people have been with horses, and some are more skilled than I. So, but many times when we start to work on that, there are some lights that go on. I know they went on for me, and it's not that I discovered this, but I found the feel of it, and it works all the time. Just like us talking right here. If we had a chance, I would be able to illustrate what that is, but it's lovely to do, and it sometimes changes the relationships between humans, not just the relationships between them and their horses.
So multi-layered. It's
It
fascinating.
Really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Horses experience the world completely different than we do, and so it takes compassion. I think it takes a lot of compassion to work to understand what they're experiencing. 4 legs, eyes that don't see both sides.
Right.
You teach a horse something on the left side, you're going to have to go over and teach it the same thing on the right side. They can't. It's like
I have never thought about that.
Yeah, they listen differently. They experience pressure differently, and yet there are many similarities, and it's quite powerful to make a connection with them.
Well, and it's interesting too. When we were talking about the foundation, he was saying that the wild Mustangs have such a different mentality because they are pack, and they have that pack mentality, and they're looking for a leader versus a horse that was never in that setting to begin with. So also, I'm sure that plays into it as well when you're looking at them and trying to work with them.
Well, and the Mustang Heritage Foundation, so far as I know, they also support understanding these kinds of things to be able to train Mustangs, because at least this is my opinion. This is not the opinion of the foundation necessarily, but if we look at horses don't really have a future, in my opinion, without humans.
Right.
So more than anything, we're helping horses understand how to have a relationship with a human, and humans have a relationship with horses, so that they can continue to exist. There is something beautiful about a real wild horse. And it's a herd. It is a herd mentality. They're looking for a leader. But there are also other elements. Most of the horses we're around, they've had some interaction with humans, some direct, at some point. Humans are feeding them. And what I've seen is that these guys aren't used to humans. They don't know necessarily what to expect. And horses are put together. It's not even good psychologically to keep a horse separate from other horses.
Yeah.
And even jokingly, I'll say some horses are kept in a way that they don't even know quite how to be social like a horse.
Sure.
And so there's still a, hey, I got to stay alive. We're figuring out who has the strongest genes.
Yeah.
And again, I'm careful here, because some of this is I've studied, and I haven't talked to the Mustang Heritage Foundation, so I may have a little bit different take on that. But I think it's quite similar.
Well, we love what they're doing, and thank you for being a part of it and
it's
supporting it.
It's really my pleasure.
Let's talk about the new music. Road Dog we just played. Road to California is the new album.
Right.
So when putting this together, was it something that you looked back and you're like, hey, look, we already have an album, or was it very intentional? Like, I'm going to do this, and I want each one of these to play a chapter in this bigger book.
It was like a natural artistic sort of walk. When I made the Wyoming record, which is the last record we made with Kyle, that was out of the blue, because I had worked with horses only for years, and then I started back to writing after that journey, which to me was quite spiritual. And by that time, my wife said, you need to put the journeys together and write. So we made that first record, and And it took a little while for people to discover that we'd made it. That was really interesting. And, because our social media, I wasn't trying to get social media numbers at the time. I was just doing horses,
Right.
And then all of a sudden everyone's
Right.
like, whoa, wait a second, you got an album? And then that took off in a cool way. And so approaching the next record, I just kept on. Once I was there, I wasn't held to the constraints of radio, and I don't mean that the wrong way. What I mean is that I'm not looking to write something that radio is expecting. I'm looking to write something that is potentially unique and different that I can offer people who listen to my music, whether that's on the radio or not. Mm-hmm. And so I just listened for like Road Dogg. I just listened. I walked out to my truck. And, our shotgun is 110 pounds. He fills everything up. He can't even fit in the shotgun seat anymore. And I jokingly say white dog hair at our house is a condiment and a fashion statement. And it's everywhere. So I walked out to my truck. It's full of hair. It's got smudges all over the windows. And I went, I love my dog. It was okay with me that my car was and I'm thinking there's lots of people who love their dogs like that. It's like, okay, that's just it,
Yeah.
And that just led to writing kind of a silly song, but also one that people seem to relate to, and so there's quite a diversity on the road to
I know
California.
certain colors I can wear to work, and certain ones I need to lint brush before I come because it's on every piece of clothing.
It's black. You be careful with black.
Yes, yeah.
Well, we would love for you to play something live for us. What would you like to do?
Well, I didn't really think about it, but I think what I'll do. Let's see. How about I play a song? I'll play a song that we only played. The first time I played it was last night with the band. I have a band.
Oh!
The band I've put together is called Horsepower 307.
Yeah.
Horsepower, because that's what drove me. And 307 is the area code for the whole state of Wyoming.
Oh.
So we're kind of proud of that.
Okay.
So did you want me to jump into one now?
Go for it.
Okay,
What's the name?
This is called the Highway 1. I heard the saying a long time ago, it's my way or the highway, and that's kind of an ultimatum where I would go, then it would be the highway.
You just premiered that last night for the first time with the band.
Yeah, I never played it out before until
that was.
It's on the Road to California album
So
that just came
good.
out. Yeah.
So good. Skip Ewing, thank you for coming in. Real quick, I got to tell you, Ernest was on stage. I was hosting at the Opry, and he told the story right before he played a song that you co-wrote with Dean Dillon, I Would If I Could. And he said, I played it for Dean. And Dean goes, well, with songs like that, what do you need me for? And Ernest said, you wrote it.
Dean didn't remember that we wrote it, That was so funny.
Such a great song.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Yeah.
That's the only time you guys have written together. You
It's
and
the only
Dean?
time, yeah. We got
Really?
and I don't even remember how we ended up getting together. I just remember that he had written so many hits, and this is a long while. It was 25 years ago.
Right. I think he even said 28. It might be. I don't know.
Maybe. And I just remember I had said to Troy Tomlinson, who was running the publishing company at the time, I said, I got to have some kind of idea that's right down Dean's alley, and so had that. I would if I could, but I can't, so I won't, but I want to.
Oh, God. It is so good. I got to tell you, hearing Ernest do it was beautiful, but having Ernest and Lainey now together as a duet.
Yeah, they just, Lainey, from my book, Lainey is the real thing. I haven't met her and I haven't met Ernest. Lainey has a kind of class and a way about her that's honest and it's authentic, and that comes through for me with horses. And Ernest, I don't know, but he's even as crazy as he is at times, he's got a sensitivity to just put that together. And I thought it was a really great recording. I love it.
And he gets it. He gets the history.
Totally
That's
gets
got to be the longest time between writing a song and having it cut in your career.
I'm not sure. Because when we made the Wyoming album and this Road to California album, I did one song on each of them that's old by 20 years or so. And I don't think you can tell.
Yeah.
That's
And
the
I
beauty of
love
it.
that.
That's
Yeah.
the beauty of it. Skip, thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, no, thank you guys.
We
I
so
always love being
appreciate
here.
it, man.
Yeah.
Sounded amazing. Check out the new album, everybody. It's Road to California. Skip Ewing in studio with us this morning on WSN.